welcome back to my channel. So for today I have the review on the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. If you're interested to see a demo, I will have this at the end of the video. So now let's move on to what I think about the foundation. If you're interested, keep watching. Don't forget to click subscribe if you haven't. That would totally make my day. And let's get started. So the Born This Way foundation is this one. If you're not familiar with it, this is what she looks like. Has a little pump, which to me is a plus. I don't like foundations that don't have pumps just because I feel like they're so unhygienic. So there she already has a point. My favorite type of foundation would be in a little squeezy tube like this. But I know some formulas don't work in squeezy tubes, so I'm okay with this type of dispenser. So what is this foundation supposed to do? This is a medium to full coverage foundation. I do feel like there is days where it makes me dewy, but there is days where I set my face and it still looks pretty luminous. Doesn't completely look matte to me. Might be because I have a dry skin. I don't know if any people with oily skin feel the same. Like, it's not completely matte. If you're looking for like a super matte foundation, I don't think this is it. It is an oil free and I'm in the color warm beige if you're interested. I just had to bust in the cap because she was looking at me weird. I think this is priced at $38. I'm not quite sure, but I will put it down here just in case you guys are interested in it. You can buy it at Sephora, you can buy it at Ulta, you can buy it at TooFacedCosmetics.com. There's plenty of sites that sell this. So the first thing I must say, it says Intactable Coverage. I kind of feel like there's days where this foundation looks really good because it does give a great amount of coverage to my face. But there's also days where I feel the foundation flops a little bit. When it comes to dry skin, I feel it's really hard to have products that are not going to over dry you or cling to dry patches just because it is like texture to it. Now when I do exfoliate, I feel like this foundation is a dream in my face. Like, it just melts so nicely. But there's days where I feel like it is too much to me. My preference in coverage is a light to medium. I don't really go for the full on coverage foundations. I did want to try this one because they said that it was supposed to be a full coverage, still making you look very, very natural. And I mean, I have about 3 pumps in my face right now and I feel pretty natural. But if I get closer to the screen, you guys can see where it emphasizes like some dry patches and some texture that I have. Everybody has texture. I feel like that is something I must say because sometimes people say like, I don't have any texture, and then they blame the foundation for emphasizing it. A foundation will never give you texture unless it is an allergic reaction. So if a foundation emphasizes your texture, you already had that. It's just that the foundation is not sitting properly with the texture or clinging to it. So I don't find that troublesome because when I take pictures with this foundation, it does give me that flawless feel and look, and I really like the way my skin can still breathe throughout the coverage it has. It doesn't have a lot of coverage compared to like, for say, the Dior or let's say like a MAC Studio Fix, you know, but it is still regardless a really nice foundation. Now keep in mind that my skin's like almost at my 30s. So I don't have like really youthful skin. I am gonna have a little bit more texture than younger people. So you gotta also keep in mind like your age range when you use foundations. There are foundations that are gonna work perfectly for youth. There's gonna be foundations that work perfectly for older people, like the Estee Lauder Double Wear Extreme Coverage one. That one's like for people that are really like in their 50s or 60s because it's an extreme coverage. But we also have to keep in mind that my skin's not perfect, so I can't totally blame the foundation. What the foundation brings to the plate is really nice to me. I definitely feel like I would repurchase this foundation. I just think that I would go a color lighter because it does oxidize. I've noticed that it oxidizes. I use a translucent powder or a loose finishing powder when I set this foundation, and it still oxidizes on me a little bit. Note, translucent powders don't have any coverage, so it's weird how it still shifts darker when applied with a translucent powder. So overall, I'm going to give this foundation 5 stars out of 5 just because to me it's pretty great. I feel like it brings a really nice slate and base to my face, and it makes me look super natural, but still like my face is like 10 times better with this foundation. It feels really lightweight. I don't sweat a lot, so I don't know if it would, you know, pass a wear test in extreme weather or anything like that. I do have like pretty ugly weather in my town, but when I've worn this foundation, since I don't sweat a lot, I don't notice any, you know, any movement, or I don't notice that my foundation is disturbed. So I like that. And like I said, being said that I have dry skin, I feel like it is very important to mention a product like this that works. This does have coconut water. And I don't know, guys, I really like it. I love the packaging. I think it's so sleek and so perfect. It is a glass like container, so it's prone to break if you travel with it. I try to place it in like little jars, like for say I always repurpose my little mask jars. Like for say this one, the Tatcha one, I save it kind of like to take foundations whenever I travel. That way I don't have to take my foundation, it won't break or anything will be harmed from it. So overall, yes guys, I really recommend this foundation. It is awesome. I hope you guys liked this review, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye. As you can tell on this side, it has like a full coverage foundation. I don't have anything on this side. Nice finished foundation. um Another thing that I notice a lot when I use this is it kind of gives you like a full filter kind of feeling to the skin. It kind of blurs you out in a way. I don't see that the website or the company is claiming to do that, which is, you know, like a wow, because they probably don't know that. And this just says it's a medium to full coverage foundation, oil free. I don't feel cakey. I don't feel like I look cakey. I feel like it looks really natural. Just, you know, admit it's one of my favorite foundations. As you could tell, I apply it at the top, and I still have a lot of foundation left from what I was trying to apply to my face. And that is why I mentioned that not all foundations are really full coverage like this one. This one is really nice, medium to full, and I feel like if you really use very light strokes, it almost get away with a really airbrushed fine look. So I like to just pat it on my face rather than stroking it or going in circular motions. I feel like when you pat, it gives you a ton of coverage, and it doesn't leave you streaky or anything like that. It doesn't leave you like a residue. Now, if you don't sweat a lot or you don't have like a super oily face, I feel like you could almost get away with just this. You don't have to like powder and contour you know, and set the foundation so much. So that is also a big plus from this foundation, because you don't have to set much to get that, you know, to achieve that look. So if you were to set, I would suggest a very, very light finishing powder. And I actually have a favorite one that I like to use, but this is on days where I really want to be like super, super matte. And this one's the Fit Me powder. I just take it with my beauty blender and I just like lightly tap and roll, and just like with whatever I have on my chin, I work on this section of my face. I don't use any more, or I don't drag it anywhere else. I just use it right here. And the more you press it in, the more, you know, the less powder you use, and the more it covers you. So it's just really, really, really nice. I've been trying this method, and honestly, it makes my face like so different from before. It just gives me that airbrushed finish. And if you like really, really matte faces, this is really nice to do that with. Notice I don't put any powder here, because that is the section where I'm going to be putting my highlight. So I don't want to put so much powder on there in order to disturb my highlight.